how to add the Google Web Stories in our web app. Let's look at the practical demo which we are going to implement in this episode. So this is a web story I have created. It's just a story format which will help you to consume the content in a small span of time. Instead of reading the entire blog, you can read the content through this basic story format. So all these controls, how to add all these controls, the link here at the top, the animation, the background here. See, this is what we are going to explore in this episode. At the end there will be a refresh button. First of all you have to do is open Visual Studio Code. So I have created one HTML file here. Now what you have to do is create HTML, add body tag. Basically web stories work on this format, accelerated mobile pages. AMP is a most common term used in the web pages. So this is used to create the web stories. AMP story. So the first tag which is required here is AMP story. Inside this we need AMP story page, and inside this we will create AMP grid layer, and inside this you can add your AMP image. So this is a structure you need to follow. First we have added AMP story, inside which we have AMP story page, and inside which we have AMP grid layer. So basically story page is indicating on which page of story we are. So we will give it as an ID, my first page. So if I open the demo here, this is the first page. Now inside this first page we have to add this image, right? So, and if you see a grids here, these are all the grids, right? So the first grid contains, this is the first grid, AMP grid layer, inside which we will add the image. Now for the image you have to give the path of your image. I have already stored my images on my server, so that's what I am going to use here. Okay, and we have to give the width as 900 and height as 1600. So these are the dimensions of story in mobile, so we will use that. And you have to give the alternate text for the image. So this is my first image. Okay, and here add template as filled. So this is your first page, AMP story page. Similarly you can add as many pages you want. Okay, so let's change the ID to second page and change the image to 2.jpg and second image. That's all you have to do. Third image. You can create your backend based on this as well, so that you don't have to repeat the entire stuff. You can create one API through which you can call this, right? So this fifth image. I have added the 6 images here. Like this. Okay, so this is the AMP story page, inside which a grid, and inside that we have added the image. And to use this AMP story you have to add the publisher name here, title, and these two sources, publisher, logo, source. So this will be the logo of your website, right? And this is a poster on which the Google, like for example in Google's mobile app there is a discover tab here, right? When you click here the web stories will come, right? So here all the web stories will scroll in this format, in this direction, right? So this what the user will see in this poster. This is your poster, right? When user clicks on this, your story will open. What you should display here, that is what this poster denotes. This will be added inside this, and when the user clicks on this, the web story will open. So this is my poster here. That's what users will see, right? Now the styling part and the script. You need two scripts to run the AMP stories in your web page. So that's the setting you have to do. Okay, so these are the two scripts which you have to do. I will drop the entire code in the description link as well. Now when user clicks on this get link, this is a link which user should get, right? So this is what you can add using link. Okay, and the styling part which you need to do is okay. So as you can see, we have added some animation using the AMP start and AMP when the story will open and when the story will end. So all that stuff will be handled through the keyframes. Okay, so that is the styling part which you need to add in your web page. The last thing which you need to do is add the stand alone inside the AMP story. Let's run this now to see this in effect. Okay, so this is my first page. This is my second grid. This is the first grid. Okay, inside that grid we have the image, right? This is the second story page inside which we have one grid, and inside that we have this page. Like this, when I click here, we can get the entire stuff, and you can see the refresh button here as well. And when I click the link here, the link will be copied here. So that will be handled through this link. So that's all you have to do to add the web stories in your web page. Another option you have to add the web stories is you can use the websites like Visual Stories. Without code also you can add the web stories. So this is basically a no code format through which you can drag and drop the entire stuff. But I recommend this is very simple. Once you get the code, you have to only change this images URL. That's it, and the links and all the description part. That's it. That's all you have to do. Once you get this code, and I have dropped the link in the description, you can get the code there as well. If you want to know how to add the Google Analytics and Google Ads into this web stories, you can comment in the description so that I will get to know that you want to learn more. I will publish that story code as well. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lecture.